However, they lacked evidence to charge him with anything. That was until this past Friday.
When he does that, it's
Anyway, they needed proof to accuse him of whatever was until this past Friday. When he does that, it's all there is to it. It's like amusing to me. I don't actually take in. And he's only not in my life. We don't need to never run into each other, accumulate around folks. Since we have ourselves a genuine wrongdoing show unfurling here, it appears as though the police is drawing near to corner their essential suspect in deadly shooting, rap legend Tupac, in 1996. And he as of late spread the word about capture of Dwayne Division better as keyed a gangster who's been flapping his gums for a really long time about having intel on this case, is only a tip of an enormous chunk of ice this capture turned into the greatest insight about the last week. And the roads continue to talk that Keefe ID's admissions might prompt more proof on this secret case. And evidently cops presently may connect all that Keefe ID was saying regarding seeing Diddy Cole's contribution for this situation, and even consider examining the music mogul, as Davis recently expressed Diddy was the genius behind the entire Tupac hit. And it seems like the music mogul has a ton to say with all due respect. And he's not terrified of Pab's declaration against him. It's a superfluous battle. Since we have the influence to would anything we like, to do we run the world well, it's for quite some time been clear that Davis wouldn't keep his mouth shut, particularly thinking about that large number of meetings he made. And surprisingly, a book he had expounded on Tupac anyway. Everything felt like honest gabbing before this man got captured. And presently did he well, he's presumably considering how to pull off this dramatization. And atop all conversations of his contribution for this situation in the police office, you see folks, Diddy has been basically persuaded that this case will be strange however long resides. And never ever did he expect that every one of the intrusive eyes will be currently on him, trusting that his greatest mystery will be uncovered 7. So this was basically the most terrible kept secret in everybody had some awareness of it. Yet there were no captures, there was no convictions, there was no anything there. He even streamlined the things with the policing. It was hypothesized that the music big shot paid off the police to redirect the consideration from his persona, yet presently with Keith behind the bars, and having no real option except to spill all reality. And only reality might this mean the demise of Diddy, as we at some point realize him well. It certainly feels so. Back in May, in a Vlad television interview, Key guaranteed that the expense for Tupac death was $1 million, which was paid by a renowned hip jump star. And later he continued to imply that this VIP who coordinated and requested the hit was regardless seen Diddy commons. Yet since the cash never arrived at the pack, Diddy sort of got resistance for the case regard that was presumably the best thing that might have at any point happened to Puffy. It seems like the music magnate hasn't been in any event, focusing on what Key D was talking about such a long time. But at this point, when Davis was captured, D accepts that his mystery may at long last surface, and a circumstance is getting increasingly more hazardous for him, since he has long accepted to separate himself from this old story. And as a matter of fact, he's never been straightforwardly responding to the emerging inquiries concerning his connection to that deadly shooting in Vegas. So we don't discuss things that are garbage. We don't, for even a moment, engage. Knowns Key D has been a functioning member of the entire story, as the man professes to be in that white Cadillac where the rap legend shooter was prowling with a weapon. The gangster even affirmed the character of a shooter, guaranteeing it was his own nephew, a person named Orlando Anderson anyway. The story got uncommon wind when one more observer of that horrendous shooting and Tupac maker Sub Knight would not affirm against Key D. And he added that he accepts that neither Anderson nor Davis were answerable for this. Now all consideration returns to the just beforehand non-explored individual, and that is Diddy. Obviously, the music mogul is stunned that the entire story is turning into the information so rapidly, and he attempts to blame Key D for lying about his contribution for this situation. And pretty much all that all them gats you know they can't actually contact me I. Toward the day's end you all see. And you all understand what it is Diddy's central matter that Key D is supposedly attempting to move fault on him in light of individual retribution as a matter of fact. He's certain that the confirmation is profoundly covered, and the police wouldn't have the option to find any proof of walloping 27 years. After the shooting, some netizens say the specialists were purposefully trusting that the right second will check whether Kiki D would squeal on the alleged brains and this story is getting to its most fascinating second as one individual remarked Netflix is watching this entire case as it unfurl, and another client added I in a real sense just said can hardly sit tight for this discharge DACA series. Come on Netflix, well, it's most certainly going to be an extraordinary narrative. Once every one of the bits of this convoluted riddle shooting are collected, this Tupac's case has a larger number of exciting bends in the road than a drama in 2018. After he was determined to have malignant growth, Davis shamelessly gave subtleties to wager about the Drive V shooting, incorporating that he was in the seat of the white Cadillac. I won't delve into subtleties on that one. Keep your roads, homeboy. I ain't going to carefully describe the situation on that a year after the fact. In his 2019 journal, Compton Road legend Davis painted himself as one of the last residing observers to Tupac shooting, while at the same time relating subtleties of the shop talk, portraying it strikingly. One of my folks from the secondary lounge caught the Glock and begun boxing back as the rounds kept flying. I ducked down so I wouldn't get hit by the police and insiders. Key D was flapping his gums since he was sure that highlighting the genuine guilty party of this story will save him from being imprisoned anyway. It seems like Diddy had outfoxed everybody once more, and presently he disposed of the last observer of Tupac shooting. In truth be told, nobody can contact him any longer. No doubt, I won't lie, I don't actually get apprehensive. I live in a genuinely valiant zone. You understand what I'm talking about anyway. It seems like Diddy didn't truly anticipate that the entire situation should re-emerge right around 30 years later. And surprisingly, Tupac's fans and relatives began to lose desire to at any point figure out reality, as one of the officials expressed the examination of the rap legend stayed the LA's first concern for a really long time. Well, I know there's been many individuals who didn't really accept that the shooting of Tupac Shakur was vital to this police division. I'm here to let you know that that was basically not the case. And obviously, Key D's developing heap of admissions was just making the entire picture clear for the police, while it truly felt like he, in every case, boasting, and very few individuals treated everything in a serious way now that Davis is in a correctional facility. In charged people are estimating that the specialists could have coincidentally found some documentation associating Diddy's to Tupac's case. And surprisingly, DJ Vlad, the popular questioner who accumulated KD's admissions, is saying so it was somewhat insane that he truly plumped down. And we did everything. And when I got some information about it, some of the time he would attempt to evade specific inquiries. Unquestionably, in the following couple of long stretches of time, we will learn a greater amount of this creating and long-running case. Yet presently, with Kid at last in guardianship, it has all of us contemplating whether the specialists have something up their sleeves that could prompt Diddy's ruin, since this man's name was flying in the meeting like those slugs that hit the rap legend on that game-changing night in Las Vegas. Furthermore, Kick D said that he had never accepted his abundance, and he generally felt like Puffy possessed him for covering the entire thing and redirecting consideration from the music. Do you feel like Puffy? Oh, you better believe it. Would it be a good idea for me? I figure he ought to watch out. And it might appear to be that the music mojo was making prepare for a major leap forward for this situation. I mean, about a month prior, Diddy reported a token of tremendous liberality when out of nowhere he started giving over distributing privileges to his previous terrible kid craftsmen. What can be dubious about that, right? Well, As it turned out, Diddy was likewise making his previous specialists sign in return for their distributing freedoms. Well, that is the sort of move that makes individuals can't help thinking about the thing it's truly cooking in the awful kid kitchen. Yet concocted another reason, saying that God provoked his hand, like I'm not getting things done for individuals. I'm doing things that God has in mind that God instructs me to do anyway, most of individuals. Except that Diddy has essentially lost its influence in the music business. And there are many individuals who need to rodent him out, very much like Kay did with his meetings presently. It's the inquiry whether any of others engaged with Did's violations will approach. And this time straightforwardly to the lap, as meetings on YouTube hold no for the police. It's a legitimate apparatus that we use in interviews, which permits someone to have the solace of realizing that they're not talking themselves into prison. But rather we should not fail to remember